Let's see if anybody turns up. Yeah, it looks like we do have some victims already. That's good. So let's sit here and wait for a couple more. Keep an eye on the feral children. What are you doing, Micro? What are you getting into? Micro. Can't tell what that child is into sometimes. Hey, Travis. I'll be right back. Micro, what are you eating? You're scavenging. Alright. Mia! Get out of my chair. Honestly, you get up from your chair and these things attack. I'll stop it, you two. It's the joy of... You have little chair hogs. As soon as you lift your butt from the chair, they're hiding in the room and they just take it. Oh well. Hey RDP, Barry, Paul, Alexi, hello Alexi, Bob, Siddle and Keith. It feels very strange to not be wearing gloves right now, but we don't need to because we're programmed. Okay, so the problem I have at the moment is, I'll see if I can just get this up and running. Just make sure, whoops. I'm gonna have to change this so I can do demessage without, let's see, okay, did you change the kernel on me? Looks like it's changed the kernel on me. So, first problem I've got to deal with now is actually rebuilding, or maybe I can load it. Sudo mod probe cp210x. Mongrel. Hey Andrew. Alright, looks like I've done a kernel update since I last did this, so it's a bit of a pain. Just trying to find out where I put it. Invalid kernel module. What? I don't know why I'm sudoing when I'm already root. The problem is that the driver, the chip that they have in this meter is the CP210, and the Linux driver assigns or binds that driver to create the serial port that you can use. But the trouble is it only has a certain number or list of devices that it recognizes in terms of product ID and vendor ID. So if I actually bring up the file, what's the bit? It doesn't even have the one I want in here. Oh yeah, there we go. Okay, so I've had to add this in. I don't know if that's actually showing up because the screen has been shrunk down a fair bit here. I'm not used to changing fonts on this. Okay. There, so I've had to add the product and vendor ID into this driver, which means until it is actually part of the mainline kernel, I have to manually do this, which is a pain. Could have sworn I copied this into the right place. Anyway, this is already slowing down what I was going to do. Let's see. Lib modules. What am I? 58036. Real programs use Comic Sans. Huh? Use DKMS to install automatically. No, well, I haven't got around to that yet. Turn off. I probably should, but it was only supposed to be a once-off thing. I'll get to that. Pernov's here to make me look like an idiot, as usual. Bad version passed to... What is going on here? It was working yesterday. Oh great, I've killed everything now. Bugger. Somehow I don't think this is actually the code base I'm meant to be using. I think that's something else. Damn it, where did I put it? Alright, that's okay, fine. We'll just go to the streaming machine where it does work. Okay, that's what I want. Much better. And yay, finally. I was just using the wrong code, that was the problem. Okay, so now we finally got our USB. No, okay. Crikey. Anyway. Alright, okay, so we're up and running and you can see the multimedia thing there. Now, the problem that we have is the really cheap, dirty, easy, slack, simple way of doing communications or any sort of I/O is to just read and write. But by default, they're what we call blocking processes. That is, once you invoke them, until you get the data back, it's just going to sit there and wait and wait and wait and wait, and it's going to block the program until you do get a response back. But obviously, so like now if I turn off the multimeter or disconnect the cable, it's just going to lock there. And you can't even say press Q to quit or anything like that, because it just stays in that function until you either kill -9 it or something like that, or turn off the disconnect the cable, turn off the port itself. So instead what we're going to do is we're going to change it to a non-blocking process, so it's more like a polling process, where what will happen is that we will ask the port, say, do you have any data? And if it does, it'll give it to us, and if it doesn't, we just go on our way. Now, the trouble comes about where you are not guaranteed, not that you ever are the other way, but you're not really guaranteed to get all of the data you're expecting. So you have to take that piece, go about, come back later and check to see if there's more for you later. And so you have to add in a bit more code and trying to be able to safely go around in circles waiting for your data to complete, or how to handle it if it doesn't. We won't be using interrupts. That's not something we do much these days, actually, unless we're on microcontrollers. But funnily enough, the process isn't too dissimilar, though, if you're using a microcontroller and you want to use interrupts. In this case, you're just going to be using flags. So in the interrupt handler, you'll actually flag that something's happened, and then in your main body of code, you'll actually handle what you need to handle based on, if the flag goes up, then you do your processing rather than actually processing the interrupt handler, which is something I see quite a few people do, loading up all their interrupt handlers, and it makes them really fat, which is not necessarily a good thing, because it means you're so busy in that interrupt handler that if another interrupt fires off, you're going to probably miss that. Anyway, now we're barely getting started. Let's see, git branch. See, they've changed it to main instead of master now. Git checkout must be non-blocking. Okay. Hey Tony W. And once I'm done this, I'll actually be able to go down to the workshop and get to work on some other jobs. I've got an iPad 6 to do tonight. I do not like iPad 6s. Loki, don't you dare mark that wall. Now, unlike some people in chat, I do not have a brain that remembers everything. So I do tend to have to bring up a bit of a help page on the whole non-blocking blocking process, even though some people on this chat will say, I know how you do it, just do this and this and this, and it's like, I don't work like that anyway. I sort of made the conscious decision to become a person who would rely on reference material rather than holding it all in my head. Okay, first thing we need to do is actually set up our states. Alexi did an iPad 6 today. What do you use to put the home button back on? I use just a teeny tiny drop of super glue, I mean really small amount, and let it wick to hold. You don't want too much because otherwise it will cloud the glass quite often. Okay, hash define run state. Let's see. Waiting. I have not heard from Jim today. No, I'd imagine he's still in recovery. He'd probably message me when he gets out. Although he was in at 6 o'clock this morning, so I'm not sure. Oh, you use B7000. Okay, I would have thought B7000 might be a little bit wiggly or soft, but I imagine you don't use much. Let's see, run state. Let's see. Reading. There are nicer ways of doing what I'm about to do, but I don't care. Okay, well I might try some B7000 because I do have it, and the super glue I use, like I said, I have to be very careful with it because it is a very low viscosity one, so it can run in all the wrong places. See, Penov, you've never done serial in C, but dealing with annoying serial stuff in Python. Okay, a bit of a different scenario. I don't think it'd be too much different, Penov. I think pretty much use the same things. Okay, so right now, what do you want, Mo? The cat that's in here will bite me on the knee, so if you see me jump, that's what's happened. Okay, so right now thing that we do, we basically read all our data in one function call here, so to speak. So we call the data read, and then we just, this is our loop here, this do while. And we just keep going around until we get to the end of the frame from the multimeter, which is we'll basically get a line break at the end of it when it's responded back to us. So we have to break this now, and we probably have to have a, say, like a data read start and then data read continue or data read follow up or something like that. So we'll need two functions. We could probably do it in one. Yeah, maybe we will do it in one. Yeah, we'll do it in one, I think. Yeah, when you're at when you do computer science, and well, when they ever teach you program, they always tell you to pre-plan everything and have it all down on paper, know what you're trying to do in advance. But quite honestly, for some of us, it's easier to write this stuff out as code as we go, and then if we find ourselves getting into a dead end, we just rip the code out and do it again. Alexei, I'm not a great fan of it myself either. I mean, it can be quite corrosive, but which is why I use an extraordinarily small amount, because of its low viscosity. You know, I don't know if have you seen the Sully's brushable super glue, and it comes with a little brush in it, and it's probably got 100 little bristles on it. I try to only use maybe one or two bristles, like individual bristles, and that's the amount of super glue I use. It's, you really got to just press it down, make it wick out, and that should lock it in. Okay. I'm just trying to think now. Just give me a tick while I check something else. Just trying to remember where I got to set my v min and v time. Because it's the same function call, but you have to set the parameters for the serial, the actual port, differently. Could have sworn I've done it a few times before. Maybe I should just search my code. Search my true feelings in code. That's the other thing, is once you solve it once with yourself, you often forget that you have solved it, but you have a note in your head that you might have done it in the past, so you go search through your code. So go to my development base. I did it for the BK390. Yeah, this is the one that Louis Rossmann uses, the BK390. And some jerk has commented out. Damn it. It wasn't even legit. Game Boy Genius. I'm not really at that pedantic state right now. You're making the assumption that the size handed to it is actually the full size of the buffer. That's really up to the calling function to... it's up to the calling function to actually decide whether it wants to or doesn't want to be safe. Anyway, you might be right. Still, final little corner cases like that, I tend not to worry about until the end, and then I go Valgrind it, and Valgrind will tell me fairly quickly. Anyway, getting tied up on that right now is an excellent waste of my time. Where is it? I hate it when you get web pages that are they don't give you the full context, and they just show little partial snippets, and like, that's useless to me. Rodrigo, DJ Craze. It's in Tommy iOS. And sometimes you do wonder if anybody has actually done any of it. Can someone kindly point me to the structure that has the damn data in it? Hallelujah, finally found one. Okay. So this is what I was looking for. Looks like it's in the CCC structure. So we need to go first to the initialization of the opening port, which is here. So we've got this C flag stuff, and we need the CCC bit. Okay. I'll have to find out what the actual units are here. Alright, so that there should put it into a non-blocking behavior, which means now this function here will effectively break, because it will come back more than likely prematurely. Alright, so now we can rewrite this on the assumption that it's going to break at times. We need to have a global state, read state. You do not bite me, you little biter. It's fun programming when you got cats biting you in the leg. Hey Barry. What? What do you want? What do you want? What is it? Milo. I'll ignore him. He'll walk away and he's like, no, didn't want anything, and I'll ignore him. But then he'll come back and he'll bite me. Little mongrel. What? Which makes it very difficult to actually concentrate when you go. Ah! What are you doing? Hey! What are you doing? I'm gonna have to feed him quickly. Come on. Okay. Okay, move back. Your biscuit bowl. Yeah, put your head in the bowl. Yeah, good on you. Yeah, that's a satisfying crunch. I'll keep him off my back for about 5 minutes. If the kitties jump up here, then sure you can have a look, but otherwise I'm not going to pick them up and put them up here. Alright, now I can try and think again. And Nelson. If you're wondering about the fact that I haven't actually defined that and I've just changed the name of it, it's because this is what I'm talking about, doing stuff on the fly. I don't know if I'm going to need done or whatever. We'll clear it up later. Did I get the fence up? No, I didn't. I ended up doing a lot of mowing and other stuff. Oh, Jesus, what now? Micro, what are you doing? Hey, Luna. You okay? Micro beating you up. Micro, leave Luna alone. Come on, stop being a jerk. Come on. Yeah. Yeah, Alita often says to me or asks me, should she go out and get a job to make things easier for us, to make us more money to come in? And I'm like, no, please just no. I said, this is going to be the worst thing you can do because it is such a difficulty in getting any sort of block of non-interrupted work done on my own when I've got the fur kids going crazy half the time, that if she actually went out and wasn't here for 8-9 hours a day, it'd be murderous for me. I'd never get anything done. It's hard enough as it is. Jeez. Okay. And yeah, of course now my thought stack has been blown and I've got to rebuild it again. So here, welcome to the reality of trying to code in a realistic setting. Hey Lars, now, who would make the toasted sandwiches indeed? There's a few other things I've got to be careful of here. I've got to make sure that I pass back or maintain the buffer pointer so that when it comes back into the data read function, it knows where to continue to put the data. So we might make those globals rather than having them passed in. Or maybe we'll... Yeah. And often there's multiple ways of doing it. If I'm sitting here looking like I'm doing nothing, a lot of the time it's because I'm trying to weigh up the multiple different options that I can take and see if I can at least try and save myself some time. Inevitably, I always pick probably the one that I shouldn't have picked. I waste time and I don't seem to win. Can she do a work from home job? Really, she is doing a work from home job. She basically, keeps things under control, which is a full-time job. And that's the thing. It's like it's not like you sit home and do nothing. It's like a bunch of stuff to get done. Global everything. Oh, Pop-Tart's not my friend. What we're gonna do is we will create a fake global. Mia, what do you want? See, this is what I'm talking about. Hello, Mia. Yeah, what do you want? Don't put your fluffy butt on my keyboard. Unbelievable. You're quite right. I don't think I really need this, but I'll put it in there anyway. Oh. Mia, pressing the wrong keys. $4K is more than enough. I don't think I've ever seen a SCPI come back with more than that. And if it does, we'll just throw an error. Hey, Jose. Mia, you really are in a bad spot there, okay? Can you shift, please? Yuck, whinger. Hey, look, say hello to people. No, come on. Come here, you little butterscotch rascal. Get out of here. Okay, where was I? Okay, so if we've got read state none, right, this is where we can do. Oh. Come on. I may as well be trying to make gourmet food in the middle of a war zone. They're actually misbehaving quite a lot tonight. I think it's because the leader's over the other half of the house and she's playing zombies or something like that. Something where they've got to build this fortress. Kind of looks like a Minecraft cover where they got to build up fortifications, and then every week or so there's like, what should you call it, date night or something like that, I can't remember, and all the zombies start mobbing and they've got to try and hold them off. I don't know what it is, on PlayStation. They know I'm on stream too, yeah, that's the other thing. Alright, so this at least sets things up. So when we start a new buffer, there. Hey Wade. Yeah, they do want my complete attention, it seems. Again, there's no need for a do while in this. Or is there? Actually no, I can keep the do while in there. It's a few excess calls, but at least it makes it easy for me to pick out the characters, like the terminating characters, when I actually hit them. I think. Return value helps to read the main pages occasionally. On success, number of bytes read, 0 indicates end of file. File position is advanced by. It is not an error if this number is smaller than. Yeah. Okay. Yeah, the feline overlords are ruining everything for me tonight. At some point I'm going to have to start doing empirical testing. Okay, this is where I gotta. I know I'm being redundant here, but it's for readability. Oh, what the heck's S supposed to be? S is supposed to probably be the end of the end of the buffer. What's your preferred method to escape nested loops? Control C? No. It really depends on what it is. I very rarely use a goto to escape out. Sometimes I'll just use a cascading flag. Because yeah, some people just hit a break and then they'll go, but it didn't break out of the outer loop. So, yeah, huh? Or just return. And I probably missed the trick question there because my brain's not fully on things. Let's see. Some people will actually, one mistake you can sometimes make is with this whole bytes remaining type thing, or when you're waiting for something to come down to 0, is some people will just simply say, they'll leave off the greater than 0. And the reason why they can end up catching you out is because if something goes along and actually makes it jump over 0, so you go from say 1 and then somehow or another, and it does happen, you end up with like -1, then this loop will just go on forever. Because -1 actually evaluates as true. Small little quirky things like that can ruin your day. If I was really pedantic here, I would actually 0 the byte after every single thing. I might actually just do that. It's for the sake of being extremely pedantic, mind you. Extremely pedantic. Okay. So at this point, in theory, this loop, we'll just keep calling it until the read state becomes read state finished, and then we can process the data as we have before. And, in theory. Okay. Whereas, see, normally here we would immediately start processing the data, but we don't. Okay, so we have to now change this a little bit, and we have to go if g read state equals state none. So if we actually are in the process of doing anything, we can then invoke a new, whoops, Paul getting crazy with his keys, getting out of crazy, man. Alpha Ben, charge a firmware the Vicky. Try 3 different RST you convert will failed. Yep. Yeah, that's the only way I found them to work mildly reliably was to actually have them hooked up to a proper full voltage swing, or at least 10 volt swing, genuine serial port off the motherboard. I did have a particular high swing FT232 adapter, and it would work about 90% of the time, and I would just have to discard dead frames, but it would still fail. The upside is that they now have a 8145C, which is a USB version, and I ordered one, but they messaged me today to say that they were out of stock and they're going to refund me. But yeah, it's a VC8145C, and you'll see it's got a USB-C port on it. So I'm ordering one, trying to get one. What is going on out there? There's going to be some smack bottoms out here.
I think that was just me.
It was you. There's going to get some smack bottoms out here. Oh yeah, I could do with some water. They have been acting up like anything. Oh, it's because they know I'm on stream. Micro's had his injection already.
Thank you.
Okay. Loki was out the back. I've closed the wedge.
Okay.
But I don't know.
I'm just gonna go nappy sand the Bill's poop.
Oh, great. Yeah, fun. I mostly had this open, this door, because you weren't here.
Alright.
But I guess I'll leave it that way if you're going back down there. Alright. Looks like Alita's getting a smack bottom for creating all the noise. Damn, now I gotta rebuild my state function, state stack again. Alright, so this here gets things started, and it's entirely possible that that function will respond back with full data straight away. So we immediately check the read state again. Finished. Looks like we might not need the done. It's not my personal fetish. Wait, what am I doing here? Oh, hell, I just realized now. Yeah, there's 3 separate states that I have to go through before I get there. Oh, this is going to be fun. Right, it becomes more complicated. So, this is reading function. Val. Reading range. I'm sure this could be simplified later, but... And all these should really be put into a enumerated state, but anyway. I'm sure someone out there is screaming that it should be in an enumerated... This is hacky code. Okay, if you don't like the way I code, then write your own code. At the end of the day, I get stuff done. That's what matters. Alright, so, yeah. Okay, so if we go to restate none, then... Crap. Oh, this is such hell. This is so hellish. It might not get done tonight. I might have to actually go do my job before I get this done. I'm just trying to think why I'm going through the modes. I don't have to go through the modes because that's redundant old code. Alright. The reason why I was going through the modes is previously I was querying or measuring the meter specifically based on what the mode function was. Like if it was in resistor mode, I'll show you. Okay, 746. Okay, this array here. So if you're in volts DC mode, then you query or you request a measurement by saying, measure volts DC, and so on and so forth for all the different functions. But there is actually a separate query you can make, which is just simply val1, and it will tell you whatever is displayed on the primary display of the meter. So I don't actually have to request the measurement explicitly. So that while loop code I've got there is actually redundant. So this here does not need to be here. Thank God for that. We don't need that either. And I might put this into a big fat switch statement. Switch g.read. It just makes it easier to follow the sequence of things if you're in a switch statement. Case. Tony W, is that a particular extension or built-in function of GVim that you're using to give you variable names that partially? I just hit Control P, and it just seems to magically work. I don't know. I don't know if it's an extra function or not, extra module or not. It just seems to work. Now that I think about it, I don't even need to query the function. Oh wait, do I? No, I do. I do. I need to know the function so I can display it on the screen properly. Crap, what did I do with that code? Now I know what I wanted that now I know what I wanted that loop for. Oh well. We'll get back to it. The reason why having the read state defines as an enumerated value would be helpful is because then in the read function, when it actually does get to like the line break to say the end of the frame, instead of going, are you this value, you can just increment to the next state. And I sort of can do that now, but in a enumerated set, you can at least, it's explicitly implied that it will jump to the next value, whereas this one I could have values that are separated by something other than the value of one integer. So anyway, that's why doing sometimes these things properly can make your life a little easier. Okay, so if we've got the value, then our buffer buff. This is going to be a real mess. Hey Steve K. Sound like a kitty cat in the background. There's probably someone driving down the road. See, like all this, I could just simply go read state plus plus. But I'm kind of listing it out explicitly because at least it makes it, when you're reading through it, you can sort of understand what's happening. Because I need to be able to understand what's happening. Loki. Yeah, you stay away from that wall. Oh, blimey hell. Oh, I'm going to just change the title of this stream to Cats Cause Havoc. Because it's just, you idiots. Loki, get out of there. I can't wait to have a proper office again. Wait, no, misreading this. Yeah, don't you even think of that. Yeah. Come on. Why, girl? Why? How'd you go? Unbelievable. That's it. I gotta cancel the stream. I'm sorry. Disasters have just happened on the walls over here. Unbelievable. I'll catch you all later when I'm doing work in the other room. I can't believe this. Cats.